Just get all nice and situated. Oh yeah, getting a little weight.
I
He's
wouldn't. I would
back. Bobby's back,
show the
baby.
jersey. Show
Oh,
the jersey. You
they got-
gotta show it for the people. There you go, Wagner. 54.
did I had to crack the glass frame I had this in on the off my wall. It had a little hammer that said in case of emergency just smash that, clean the glass up later. Bobby
Oh
Wagner,
man,
future Hall of Famer for the Seattle Seahawks, we can say,
at
returning
this
to
point
this
in time.
team on a
Thank
1 year
God.
deal, $7 million. Tell me what you're thinking, man.
Oh my gosh! Like, first of all, I didn't even see like the original. Actually, it's weird because it was how it was. The information even came out because it wasn't from Schefter. It was actually from I think one of the people up in Washington, right? Was actually saying, "No, Battle
Yeah,
Wagner's back, y'all."
no, yeah. So there's like Bobby Wagner represents himself, so there's no agent like talk or anything like that they'll try to leak around or anything like that. KJ Wright on his radio show was one of the first people to say, "Hey, Bobby Wagner's either coming back to Seattle or going to Dallas." I think those are the two teams he said, and
He don't
I
need to
think
go to
it.
Dallas. He don't need to go
No,
to
he don't
Dallas.
need to go to Dallas. He doesn't need to sully his legacy by going to Dallas. But
Right.
then Agent Nino, Quandre Diggs, he tweeted out, "Bobby Wagner's back, y'all." And then my favorite part about all that was when he tweeted at Adam Schefter like, "Hey, let it be known I broke it before Adam Schefter." And Adam Schefter came back with the retweet, and he's like, "I got you back with the retweet. You right on this one."
You got Schefter's like, you. Hey, you got me. It's like usually I'm usually the first one to get it, but you know what? I understand. You got me this time, but not the
Yeah.
next time.
So
If there is a next time.
Bobby Wagner on I think like NFL.com's like list of like top 100 free agents. I think he was like in the top 10, maybe top
Yes.
15 somewhere. He was a coveted free agent, decided to come back to the Seahawks. It's just been it feels like it feels right. That's all I can say to it. It didn't feel right when I saw him in a Rams jersey.
Oh, I mean, yeah, facts on that one. I mean, I'm glad he's back. Basically, at the end of the day, we needed this because a lot of people, not even just us, we were obviously saying we were always we were the first ones to say like we just need to bring Bobby Wagner back because I know the Rams let him go. We were like, oh, just get Wagner back because Jordan Brooks is injured and
Yeah.
he's definitely not going to be there at the beginning of this upcoming season. So at the end of the day, we needed like that one linebacker to fill in. Even while I know we should still personally, for draft reasons, we should still go and get like a nice linebacker because we still need the depth. Don't get it twisted. But now they can that same linebacker can just be under Bobby Wagner while he can hold it again because he knows how to play in every single game and keeping his body healthy even to this
Yeah.
day. He's almost
He,
30. He'll be 33 at the start of the season.
33 years old, but you look at his numbers, he hasn't dropped off much. Let's go through his accolades really quick.
Yeah,
He drafted in 2012, or I think 2011 actually. Yeah,
2012.
2011.
No,
Or,
2012.
oh, sorry, 2012. And
From
let's
Utah
see.
State, round 2, number 47 overall by the Seahawks.
Yep, coming off of a season where he was second team All Pro by the Associated Press. He has been in. Okay, let's see. He's had 9 All Pro recognitions
Hmm.
throughout his career, either first or second team.
Yeah, this will be his third time getting the second team All Pro.
Yeah, has had 7 straight seasons of 133 tackles or more. And I think just based off of last season, it looked like he had 140 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Doesn't look like a guy that's 33,
He
if
was,
I'm being
and then he
honest.
was actually, what was it? He was actually 2 tackles off from Laurinaitis's franchise record,
Yeah,
overall
which is
franchise
crazy
record.
because
Yeah.
2011, 2012, it looks like
Hmm.
is when
That's
James Laurinaitis
crazy.
set that record for the Rams. But yeah, everybody remembers James Laurinaitis. He was an absolute animal on that Rams defense during those years. But those numbers don't make it look like he's dropped off much, right? Are we sure he's on his way out, or is he in his prime?
I mean, I would say he's still in his prime years. It's just like the prime years are waning, but not as much as you would see for other players because he'll be 33. But I still think he can give you like at least at most 2 to 3 more years.
Yeah.
That's like being optimistic. If he gives like one season at a time, that's perfectly fine too. Because I mean, he's made his money. If you see his earnings, his whole career earnings, right? It's like almost $100 million. So it's not like
Not
he
bad.
hasn't.
Not bad for a middle linebacker.
Not bad for. Well, I mean, come on now. I remember people were comparing him to Luke Kuechly while Luke Kuechly was still here. Like they would say, like Bobby Wagner's 1, Luke Kuechly 2, or Luke Kuechly 1, Bobby Wagner
Yeah.
2 at times. And just like, I mean, you can't. Any team that would have had Bobby Wagner. I mean, of course, that's why we love having him back. would have just loved to have him on the team as like that leadership, that basically like he's been there, he's been to Super Bowl, he's been to the playoffs, he's been like all the accolades you can think of. He would have helped out any team.
Future Hall of Famer, man. And I think that you hit a good point. I think this means a lot more for us. It's a homecoming, but for teams that are looking to get over the edge, like if he was with if he was linked to the Cowboys, the Cowboys are obviously looking at him. There's that Dan Quinn connection, but there's also teams that are trying to make that push to get over the line,
Yeah,
like your Bills. Bills are trying to replace Tremaine Edmonds, and so he was tied. That the Bills are the best linebacker to fill that role for the Bills is off the board. Same
I
with
wouldn't
the
have been
Bengals.
surprised if I wouldn't have been surprised if he somehow like, let's just say like, Bills just came all the way over and it's like, hey bro, we got this team. We right there. Get in here, bro. Like
Yeah,
for
I know.
one season. But
Usually, when players get to this kind of point in their careers, that's the kind of like deals they look for, unless they're like a lifer with the team, is the championship deals.
yep. Yeah, exactly.
And
I
so
mean I can't complain there.
Yeah, and so you touched on this a little earlier. I wanted to ask you again.
Yeah.
What do you think this means for um, Seahawks' draft strategy, at least for this upcoming season?
For the
Like,
draft, I personally think whatever they were thinking before for the draft, don't change anything. I don't know what that is yet because I don't know what Schneider and Pete Carroll are doing up there, but actually, they're playing games right now with the whole QB thing. If anyone has seen that on the Seahawks Twitter, like they literally were at all of like they're pretty much at every single like the top QBs like pro days and taking selfies with them because I know they're playing games like they're
I
playing
love it.
draft mind games, and I love it too because we could trade that number 5 overall pick. In all honesty, it's not like the edge, especially the D tackle position, it's stacked. I would say the edge you will want to like dig into the edge more, but whatever they're thinking of doing, don't change it because who we got in the offseason, I know we're going to get into that, but like for the offseason, like who we got already, we got Julian Love, we got Draymond Jones, Jaron Reed. We also got, well, obviously we got Bobby Wagner now. Who else
Evan
did we
Brown.
get? Did we get
Ev-
someone else?
Evan Brown.
Yeah, Evan Brown, the center guard from I think it was the Giants, correct?
Lions.
Lions, yeah, the Lions, yeah. Giants was Julian Love, but the Lions, yeah, we got Evan Brown from over there. That's actually a pretty solid, at least like okay, we filled up somewhat the holes. Now the draft is gonna like fill in everything else. But for me, the cherry on top was getting Bobby Wagner, and I know like a lot of like news sites or even like Seahawks like publications were basically, or excuse me, like the Seattle publications were basically saying the best thing they can do right now, literally like to top all of this off, go get Bobby Wagner.
Yeah,
That's
bring
like
him home. Everybody
because like
knows. I mean, he left too soon, probably for everyone's comfort. And he he was pretty much the quarterback of our defense. And last season we kind of saw that a lot. It just seemed the entire the secondary was disjointed from like the front seven. And
hmm
you have to have that guy in the middle, the middle linebacker that kind of keeps everything together, kind of quarterbacks everything on that side of the ball. And getting that back while Jordan Brooks is healing up, because he'll come back, but he's not going to be
with Bobby
100% until
Wagner back, we can take our time with Jordan
yeah.
Brooks and not just rush him back onto the field. Hopefully,
Yeah, and he's a Jordan Brooks is not going to be 100% even when he does come back, because you know how ACL injuries be. He's not going to be at
ooh,
full
because it
speed
was a
until
full tear, right?
uh I think so. Yeah, I think it was a full tear, and so that's one of those things that even a partial tear, you still got to go in there, get that surgery, build up that strength in that knee again. So he'll we it eases a lot of pressure without putting a lot of strain on us as a team, because everybody wanted Bobby Wagner back in the house. Agent Nino said it himself, right? He's been the most vocal guy on Twitter for the Seahawks besides Nick Bellore.
Oh yeah, facts. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like I don't know where Jordan Brooks is going to be, but I would also say, in terms of the draft, we should still go and try to get like a top linebacker prospect because maybe that new linebacker could be the new number 1 to Jordan Brooks is 2 if he doesn't come back. I don't think it was like that big of a leg injury,
Hmm.
um, but at the same time, just in case, it's more of like a contingency plan. But also, have someone else be under Bobby Wagner and
Yeah.
basically train under him and stuff like that. Especially with this new 3-4 defense that we've been running since last season.
Yeah, and with the 3-4 defense, obviously you got four linebackers back there, so there's more emphasis on having depth and experience at that position, as well as versatility.
Yeah.
You don't have to have four guys that are like Bobby Wagner. You want to have like maybe a guy like Wagner, and maybe a guy that can fly around, and then guys
hmm
that can rush the passer and guys that can set edges. you want to have that variety of talent, and just bringing Bobby back to kind of glue that all together is probably going to be
Yeah,
pretty big for our defense moving forward.
it's gonna be
Other
really good.
Yeah, other thing was that Devin Bush is probably going to benefit a lot from that. I think a guy that's probably has kind of been down on his luck ever since he got drafted, got injured. He's looking
Hmm.
for a fresh start. Who better to mentor him than a future Hall of
Is
Famer?
he in? I forgot. I know last time we talked about Devin Bush. Is he injured right now? Like he's trying to like rehab back, or is he just back, but he just
He's
hasn't
back.
been like okay,
He,
okay.
I think he tore his ACL, I think, a year and a half or 2 years ago, and he just kind of hasn't been the same. I think a lot of Pittsburgh fans will come out and say, like, he wasn't the same guy that they drafted, because when he was at, I think, Ohio State or Michigan, I think it was Ohio State, he was just kind of
Hmm.
like an absolute, like, he was a game wrecker of the linebacker. And after he tore his ACL, he kind of just shied away from tackling people and that kind
He's
of thing.
so he was like that run stopper, like linebacker, if you will,
I
kind of
think he got
like
a lot of. I think he rushed a fair amount as well too. He was like an all around linebacker
he
for
wasn't a
Ohio
coverage
State.
back, was he? Like a coverage linebacker?
I don't think so. I don't know what kind of scheme that the Ohio State runs. I think Ohio State probably runs like a base four. Not a lot of college teams run a 3-4 anyway.
Okay, okay, but yeah, either way, like you said, I think he's going to definitely benefit with being with Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is just definitely going to start now. It's just a matter of who's going to start right beside Bobby Wagner because we still need that other linebacker. If it's Bush, so be it. But I would love to get a rookie in there too, to kind of like maybe now this is kind of where we can rotate in and out, but just depending on the packages and stuff like that, and of course, like let Brooks take his time. Like, oh hey, I'm back, but like I'm back, but I'm not back if you
Yeah,
catch my drift. So that's the only thing we have to be careful about. But other than that, I like with this. I think like with Bobby Wagner, like the cherry on top. Now I can just calm down and just focus on what are we doing for the draft because like that's the next thing, right? Because if we can hit on this draft like we did the last one, same like even the same for like the Detroit Lions. If we can just hit on this draft, ooh,
yeah. And,
might be that run.
I mean, the draft is still, I think, what, 2.5 weeks away or 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
So there, I mean, but the fact that this move is done early is also extremely important, because it lets Pete Carroll, John Schneider set the roadmap for what they actually need to go out and do. Do you think the Seahawks are going to do any more moves, any more signings after this one?
I don't think so. I think that was the reason why a lot of the Seahawks, like a lot of the moves that Seahawks were doing, was a lot of contract. Either like they were just basically doing cap casualties, like they were just cutting people, which is it makes sense why that all those cap casualties were having. Besides like Al Woods, but I don't think we're going to sign anyone else. If we do, it'll be like on the 1 year, very like it's like one of those. It's like a 1 year, $6 million deal, but it's in actuality we're really paying you 3.5, and you have incentives to get up to like 6 million or something like that. Because I think we're kind of. I didn't really check where Seattle is on that right now, but I
I
think we're
think we're
kind of
capped out.
capped.
Yeah, you can look it up and probably fact check this to a little bit better accuracy, but I think we're out of money in terms of, unless we have to make cap moves to sign new players.
No,
I think where we're at.
it says cap space for okay. So current cap space as reported by Over the Cap,
Does
it's
that
eight.
include Bobby Wagner?
I think this includes the recent Bobby Wagner move. It could change, but
Okay.
basically it's the cap says cap space is at 8.918 million, but the effective cap space is we are in the red at 746,000.
Yeah, and I think the effective cap space takes into account rookie contracts you have to give out, right?
Yeah, I think yeah, you have basically every pick that we have, you have to allocate at least $1 million to it. Basically,
Yeah. Okay, that
just
makes
as like a
sense.
just use that as like a number to use for now because it's cap magic is always happening around here. So
Yeah, we
yeah,
were talking about that before we
we're in the red. I never
we,
knew.
we were talking about that before we started recording, how, like, you could just, like, actual salary numbers don't really mean anything, because you can convert a salary into a signing bonus and prorate it
Yeah,
over the remainder of the contract and not actually hit your cap that hard. But I think the reason why we were able to make the moves that we were able to make is because Gino took such a team friendly deal to come back as our quarterback.
it starts there. It starts with that big deal with Gino, and then after that, the domino effect started kicking in because we were able to get Draymond Jones
Yeah.
at at
Who the Seahawks
DT.
actually wanted originally as part of that Russell Wilson trade, but I think they settled for Shelby Harris. I don't think the Broncos wanted to give him up.
Yeah, because at the time they were just like, no, this
This
is
is the
like the
future.
team. This is the
Yeah.
future, right? And then that future didn't look so bright.
You think
That's
about that
why.
Broncos defensive line, now that we've gotten so many, we feels like we've gotten so many players. We only gotten like two of them on their defensive line, but they had guys like Bradley Chubb, Draymond Jones,
Hmm.
Shelby Harris. Like, come on, that's unreal.
Yeah, and all of them left. I
Yeah.
think even someone else got took someone from their D line as well. But regardless, like I don't know what the Broncos will do at that point. But that's up to them because their pick doesn't matter anymore. It's still number 5 for us right now. But yeah, what would you? I guess like what would you give a grade for the offseason as a whole for the Seahawks?
Okay, that's a good question. So let's summarize again. So we've reworked Gino's deal.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that we didn't mention is that we cut Gabe Jackson, who was kind of just like a weird anomaly for our offensive line, like just
Yeah.
that right guard position, and how we were rotating guys, 50% of the time. So we cut Gabe Jackson. I think he's on another team now.
Mm-hmm.
We signed Evan Brown. We signed Bobby Wagner, Draymond Jones, Jaron Reed, Julian Love. Did we trade anything at all? I can't. If
We
I'm
didn't do any trades to my knowledge. Yeah, no trades to my knowledge. We just picked up whoever we picked up.
And then we also cut Al Woods and Shelby Harris. I think those are
Yeah,
the main cuts.
Quentin Jefferson, Al
Quentin Jefferson as
Woods,
well.
yeah, and Shelby. Like we basically just like removed our whole D line, so we had a little bit
Yeah,
of like a head scratcher right there. But at the very least, we got Bobby Wagner.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but what would you? I guess what would you grade it with that then in mind?
I think the fact that they got the Geno deal done at such a team friendly deal gives the team a minimum grade of a B. If they would have done nothing else, I would have given them a B.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they were able to bring in Draymond Jones, who was one of the most coveted D lineman free agents in the
Either
market.
him or Darren Payne from like the Commanders, but the Commanders kept him.
Yeah, yeah, but dude, that Commanders D line is unreal too. Once Chase Young gets
Why
back,
do
but
you
that's
think I
just
wanted Payne so badly? They were
yeah,
like, no, 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 franchise, you ain't going anywhere, bro.
yeah,
They knew.
they know, and yeah, so that coupled with three very good cap cutting, cap
Hmm.
control moves with
We did tender a few guys as well. So like Ryan Neal
yeah
is one of
Ryan.
them.
But I'm surprised Ryan Neal actually hasn't gotten signed yet. Seeing how good he was, in terms of
Is
just
he's still on our team, right? And not like a free agent?
so he's a
Because
tendered free agent. I think the way it works is that if another team has the opportunity to sign him, we can match. If we don't, then we get a pick out of it. I don't know if from the team or if it's a comp pick. I
okay.
think it's a comp pick that we get out of it.
We're not the 49ers and the other teams that be getting a hell amount
Yeah,
of comp picks,
they
bro.
got those Rooney picks. That's why the Rooney rule with their
Yeah, that
execs
they
and
got
stuff like that, coaches.
it was a lot of what third rounds and fourth.
They got like 100. They got picks 99, 101, and 102 on the third
Oh
round,
my
which is funny
gosh, bro, that's so many picks. But the only thing is you have to have money allocated if you
for
are
those
going to
picks.
take that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
So
for overall for the grade, I think nothing like I've talked about how I don't like the moves where you trade multiple first round picks for one guy and put all your hopes, like the Jamal Adams deal. I wasn't a big fan of that, but
so
the
the
fact that we built the team pretty solidly,
mhm.
we kind of structured a lot of deals solidly. I mean, this is like either an A minus to an A for me. I'm probably sitting in the A camp without the
Yeah.
draft even happening.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think before we got on here, I was saying either like a B plus at the lowest with like an A minus at the highest, only because like I'm kind of like scratching my head on like releasing a lot of the defensive linemen, even if just for depth purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why we released every single one of them, unless I'm in the room and they're just basically saying, yeah, we want them back, but like cheaper. We don't want them where we had them, else we would have, as we can see right now, like we are 700 and almost 750K in the red. So maybe it would have put us more in the red if we just try to keep, maybe one or two of them. So it makes sense now. So I think we still have like some restructurings and stuff like that to do just to get us into the positive, but it's gonna like fix itself up by the actual start of the season.
Yeah, and I think like I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I think
Hmm.
we're interested in like the team has come out and said that we wouldn't mind bringing back Shelby Harris or Quentin Jefferson on team friendly deals. And the thing I'm uncertain on, I'd have to like look this up and understand it in more detail. Is
Hmm.
we released those guys. We probably took on some dead money. If we were able to bring them back on cheaper deals, would that would we be able to like use up that dead money space? Would that count towards the dead money space? Is the question that I
Yeah,
would
because
like.
current,
We
yeah.
say there if we cut Shelby Harris and there was five
Hmm.
million in dead cap and we bring back Shelby Harris on a $1 million or sorry a 1 year $5 million deal.
No, you
Would
still
that
owe that
just
dead money. You
they
still owe
still
it
yeah
from the
okay
last deal. Because right now we do have literally all of those people with dead money. So Gabe Jackson, he is the highest with 4.76 million in dead money. Carlos Dunlap is still 4.2 million.
we're still paying Carlos Dunlap?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, 4.2. I don't know if this was. I think this is. Yeah, this is for 2023. So we have Carlos Dunlap on dead money. I think that was just because of the deal we did, and I guess after that one season, we were just like, yeah, Carlos, yeah, get out of here, bro. Which didn't make sense to me. He would have still been good as a solid edge right now, but hey, Shelby Harris is actually, you were close. He's at 3.27 million. I think this was just from previous deal that he had with the
Broncos.
Broncos. So Quentin Jefferson's with 2 million. Al Woods is at 1.75 million, and then we still have Chris Carson on both a 1.5 million and a 236,000. So like in total, we have 17.8, almost 17.9 in dead money, $1 million in dead money.
Which isn't too bad for a team that's rebuilding.
That's not bad because there's some other teams that are bad.
The Saints.
I think the Colts with the quarterback
Oh
deals
God, the
they did,
Colts.
they got out of that Matt Ryan deal, man. You got to remember that one.
Actually, you know what? Let's just go on this tangent. Okay, this is effectively the end of the segment for the Seahawks. Who has the worst dead money situation now that we're kind of in this like
I have to go like what you just said, the Saints. I have to go with the Saints, man. But the Vikings are at the bottom with the Commanders and stuff. I don't know unless that's changed, but I feel like it's the Saints still because they still got to rework a lot of those contracts out, or the Colts. Yeah, actually, Saints aren't that bad. They only have like 22.8 million
oh,
in
that's
dead
not bad.
money.
I
That's
think
just a
they probably
little.
restructured deals, and that's probably why it worked out
Well,
okay.
they literally had to even do this free agency. So the only other team I can think of is like either Colts or Rams.
Rams are probably pretty bad too.
Colts are at 23.
We were looking at what were the ramifications for Bobby Wagner? Is like I
Oh
think
yes,
you were looking this up.
yes. So real quick, yeah, Bobby Wagner, he only counts for the Rams $7.5 million in dead money. Part of that is I think it was the 4 point no it was I had it up here a little while ago, but in short, it's like part of it is his salary that he was owed, and the other part is a signing bonus. You put it together, you get 7.5 million. That's what his dead money is. I don't know if it's continuing for years on end. His deal previously with the Rams was a 5-year, $50 million deal. 20 million of it was guaranteed, with 10 million due at signing. He was guaranteed that at signing, so I guess it's just the other 10 million he's getting at this point. So I mean, he still made his money from that deal. So that's all
I
we got
I
there.
can't feel bad for them, but they had a good player on a bad defense.
Oh wow, Matt Ryan is 18 million in dead cap for them, or dead
Actually,
money
it's
for
kind of
them.
surprising that when you put it, when you put say that the Saints only have like I think was it 20 some million in
Yeah,
dead cap
I
that
don't
they're
know
able
who
to.
has the worst. You have to literally like keep clicking around. That could be like a little segment we can do. I think we can do a little segment on that at some point, but
Yeah,
I would like
we'll take a
that.
look when the dust kind of settles from this free agency.
Yeah, I think it's still going as of right now. I think you're going to still see some little bits of signings as recently. So like as an example, the 49ers traded for a kicker.
Yeah,
So that's a thing.
yeah, and I think that wraps up what we have to say about Bobby Wagner coming back to the Seahawks. Welcome home, Bobby.
Welcome
Uh,
back, Bobby.
thanks for joining us here at Miss Reps. My name's Kanal, and this is, of course, Adam. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and we hope to see you again next time.
Peace.